ازاي اشتغل في مجال الكورة؟ سؤال بتسأله في الفترة الأخيرة من شباب كتير قوي، وقررت اني مش هرد على السؤال ده لوحدي، ولكني هستضيف ناس جامدة قوي شغالين في اكبر المؤسسات سواء في اوروبا او الوطن العربي عشان يحكوا لنا تفاصيل اكتر عن شغلهم وازاي بدأوا في مجال كرة القدم. حلقة النهاردة هيكون معايا خوسيه بونال. خوسيه هو المنسق الأكاديمي لجامعة ريال مدريد يونيفرسيتاد أوروبية، واشتغل على مشاريع مختلفة مع الاتحاد الاسباني والاتحاد الاوروبي لكرة القدم يويفا. اول مرة قابلت خوسيه كان في بطولة اوروبا 2020 في اشبيلية، واشتغلت مع خوسيه لمدة شهر، كان هو مديري ساعتها وفضلنا على تواصل من اياميها لحد دلوقتي. فقررت ان انا استضيفه معايا عشان يحكي لنا اكتر عن شغله وازاي بدأ في مجال كرة القدم. تعالوا نشوف قال لنا ايه. خوسيه, welcome to my show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah. So first of all, I want to ask you, how did you start your career in sports or in football?
Actually, I studied sport science first. Sport management didn't exist in Spain at the time, so I did sport science first. Specialized into sport management, and like a lot of people, first I did my internship. Through the internship, a lot of volunteering, people was able to know me, to know what I could do, and I was able to develop myself as a professional.
Yeah.
So basically, I would say first, to study something related to sport management, in particular to the field that you are interested in, and then to volunteer and to do as much internships as you can, because you know the companies, but the companies don't know you. And sport management is a field where the networking component is very important. There is a lot of people that want to work there, and the fact that somebody trusts you or trusts your skills, it really makes a difference.
So yeah, one of the most questions I always receive, like the transition between the educational aspect and then the practical aspect, getting into the work environment. How did you do this? I know you mentioned like the internships and volunteering, but like for someone like in the Middle East or in Egypt where like the industry is a bit behind, how should they start? Like can they start from there, or they must like go to Europe or to some other countries?
I would say it depends on the university methodology. For example, at the Universidad Europea de Madrid, the place that I work with, we have something called challenge-based learning, CBL, or maybe you've heard of PBL, project-based learning. And this is a great bridge between the pure academic and the actual practitioner. I think that when you do that and you do case study solving and you do what you're going to face later, is not that different than from you've been practicing before. So I don't know, universities in Egypt or all the countries like that have those specific methodologies, but I would say that more than the geographic location of the university is the methodology system they use.
Of course. From individual like perspective, if someone is not enrolled in a sports management course, can he or she start in a different way?
Yes, they can, but they will be harder depending on the department. Like for instance, if you are study economics, somebody in the sport finance, he will be actually in a good position. If you study law and they need a sport lawyer, you're again in a good position. However, there is plenty of departments where you might be out of range a bit, okay? So I think that depending on what the students desire in their future career, what the students would like as their main department, they can be very good located or very far from the actual range of backgrounds and studies that you should do.
One last question. You've done a PhD in sports management.
Yep.
And you also work in some events, so we met actually in Euro 2020 in Sevilla. So how did you combine between both, like the academic aspect and also the practical? Because some people think if you like took the academic path, you will never go to the practical or to the work environment.
You see, thank you for the question. It's a good question. And we're trying now to be more and more practical. So the fact that I know how to do science, how to do proper research, doesn't mean that I cannot have great skills for projects. Now, time-wise, it was crazy. I actually during COVID finished my PhD. You know, when always say I don't have time. I had all the time in the world at once. So I think that was something that really helped me to complete it. But apart from that, I think it's about doing events or doing whatever you do in sport management, using data, using numbers as your foundation. Once you have that spirit, you will be good on research. So it's a fact of combining both. Of course, also for my family conditions. I don't have kids yet, or I'm just married, but recently, personal life takes a lot of sacrifices when you put all the eggs in one basket. Imagine both, right? So I think it's about what you pursue in your future and having the bridge or the gap between them as close as possible, so that really on everything we do on the field, they use research, and that everything we do on the lab actually can be applied on the real field.
Perfect. One last advice you give to people in Egypt or in the Middle East if they are starting their career in sports?
In the Middle East, in Egypt, or any place in the world, be proactive. I think that we are living in a place where, people is more redundant. They are more comfy and they don't want to be out of their countries or the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So to be proactive, to ask people questions, to ask information, to send emails saying thank you, I like your lecture. These kind of things will make you a step closer. Now, once you are proactive, you can learn, you can develop yourself, you can do a lot of things. But the first number one objective, I'll say, try to be as proactive as possible.
Jose,
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Happy to see you again.